So,
Valli.
Valli, I thought this would actually be a good opportunity to talk about the different workrooms and the different principles, mediums? Skills. Different skills and skill sets of haute couture, because this is an example of flou.
Flou being otherwise known as the dresses, which is usually the more fluid, supple, flowing, and the tailoring being more structured. But at Chanel, actually, Madame Jacqueline, who's the premiere of the tailoring, the tailleur, she will also do dresses as well, particularly the dresses that go underneath, say, a coat, or a coat that's a dress. So the lines between the two are really getting, I think, blurred slightly. But this is a perfect example of
pure flou.
Pure flou. Do we know who did the ruffling?
We don't.
Would it be La Mariée?
Did they do ruffling as well as feathers? Did they do this? Because they do the camellias for Chanel,
they would have done this in feathers, wouldn't they?
Yeah, because there were the feather skirts, which you assume were La Mariée.
So maybe this was done
in-house.
In-house.
But I think it's interesting to think of those lines blurring, because I was interested if it was, if specific people create specific clothes to a specific effect, because I read that at Chanel, Carl will give different workrooms the sketches and see how, and also Dior used to do it to see how a different hand would interpret it. But also
different premieres. So at Chanel, Madame Martine has a very different hand to Madame Cécile. And Madame Jacqueline has a very different hand. Again, it's really interesting. It's like they have their own way of interpreting a sketch. They have their own way of transforming it into 3D, and then directing les petites mains to actually make it. So it's a very personal chain of command that comes from Carl. And then when they show it to him in the toile stage, you see the premier actually there alongside the toile, who Carl will go, no, or no, that's fantastic, yes. But you'll see the seconde, the petit man, just in the doorway, waiting in their white coats to know whether they got it or they didn't get it.
It's interesting because at the start of this couture odyssey today, we were talking about the idea of individuality and individual houses and individual women, but actually the individual hands that stitch the clothes have as much personality as the people that are, and also shape it as much as the figure of the woman that's going to wear it, and as the brain of the designer, the couturier that has envisaged it. In fact, and we talked a little bit off camera about the idea of this almost being the undressing being the kind of acrobatics behind couture, the athleticism of the ateliers, and it representing that building up to this, the final piece. So I think it's very interesting to think about the individuality in that sense, that it's not just the people buying it and the people envisaging it, but it's all those individuals and all these stitches. And that's really, you once said that it has this power the ready-to-wear can never have because of that human touch.
Well, I would describe it as, it was Madame Cécile who said to me, the difference, Amanda, between ready-to-wear and haute couture is stitched with love. Every stitch is an act of faith in believing what and where Carl is asking us to go, because he's almost defying, just like Valli has asked his atelier or his premier to make a dress dégradé like a flower that is something so light and airy, composing of thousands of ruffles. And to make it, you've got to go into the unknown, so to speak, sometimes defying how you think a shoulder could go, or something that has a seam doesn't have a seam. And that is, I think there's love. There's love in being able to get there for him or for her.
That's good, we're done there.